Hi, I'm Lynette and welcome. Today I'm going to be showing you a tutorial on this eyeshadow look right here. And I use the Pat McGrath Mothership 4 Decadence palette. Now, as you know, this palette was limited edition and Pat McGrath has brought it back now like 4 or 5 times. Seems like it's been that many times. This is what she looks like. This is the box, which is beautiful, just like all of the Pat McGrath packaging. And so this is the coveted elusive palette. This is her only full-size all shimmer metallic Mothership palette. And it doesn't have any of the special shades in it, the VR or the Astro Blitz shadows in it, but that doesn't make it any less beautiful or any less special because Pat McGrath's metallic shimmer formula is absolutely beautiful. It's so smooth and so buttery. It applies like silk. They're pigmented. I use these shadows on my eyes today without wetting them. So her metallic shimmer formula is gorgeous. And I think it makes a really beautiful accent palette, not just for her other Mothership palettes, but for any other eyeshadows and eyeshadow palettes you may have in your collection. Now, I have a playlist that is always linked in my description box below of all the tutorials I've done with all of the Pat McGrath palettes that I own, and that includes the full-size Mothership palettes, the 6-pan mini palettes, and the quads. So if you're ever interested, if you're ever looking for maybe a little inspiration for any of the Pat McGrath Mothership or any of the Pat McGrath palettes that you may have, you can always go to my channel and check out my Pat McGrath playlist. That playlist is linked down below right now as well. I have done now a tutorial with all the palettes that I own except for one, which is my newest edition. Is it my newest edition? I think I got it during the Black Friday blackout of 2019. And this is the Mothership 1, the Subliminal palette. So I did dip into this palette today to create this look because the Decadence palette is an all shimmer metallic and I did want to use some mattes in my look today. Maybe you just picked up the Decadence palette and now you finally have it and now you're thinking, okay, what now? Well, hopefully this might give you some ideas, give you an option on a look or the type of looks that you could create with this palette. Now, the first look I ever did with this palette, I used only the palette. So I used the whole look was an all shimmer metallic look. If you like this look, if you like this video, if you find it helpful at all, then please give it a like and consider subscribing because I do eyeshadow tutorials, makeup hauls, swatches, and reviews here every Saturday. Now, if you'd like to see how I created this look today using the Pat McGrath Mothership 4 Decadence palette, then keep on watching. I'm using the Urban Decay Anti-Aging Primer Potion and I'm going to blend that in from eyebrow to lash line with my finger. And now I'm going to go into the Pat McGrath Mothership 1 Subliminal palette and I'm taking Ultimate Taupe on a Wayne Goss number 17 brush. I'm going to put that high in the crease, above the crease, and in the crease. And I went into the palette multiple times to build up this color. It's very light, but probably because with the lights you couldn't really see it, but you were able to see it in real life. Now I'm taking the shade Depth on that same Wayne Goss number 17 brush because I used the wrong one to begin with. And I'm going to put this I'm going to concentrate it in the outer V portion of the eye, just tapping the color in to build it up, and then I'm going to blend it into the crease. I'm going to try not to get too high with that shade because I don't want that darkness going too far up. Now I'm going into the Decadence palette and I'm taking the shade Divine Mink on a Delium Tools number 777 brush, eyeshadow brush, and I'm going to put that on 3/4 of the lid all over the mobile eyelid. And I use this shadow dry, and as you can see, it's this really nice like taupey gunmetal shade. And the more I added, I built it up. I think I went twice into the palette only. The more metallic it became. So very nice. Now I'm going to go back into the Decadence palette. Using that same brush, I'm going to pick up Enigma. And I just put that shade on the other side of that Delium 2's brush. And I thought at first, I was like, oh my God, these two shades don't go together. They swatch nicely together on my arm, but I'm like, oh my God, that's not gonna work. But the trick was to just keep going back between Divine Mink and Enigma, between these two eyeshadows, and blending them in together. So as you see, I'm just turning my brush over and I'm patting it where the two shadows meet. I'm patting it with Divine Mink, and then I turn it over to the side with Enigma, and then I pat in between those shades again. And then once I started blending them together, as you can see now, they look like they seamlessly blend into one another, and the difference between the two isn't as noticeable. Now I'm going back in with Depth from the Subliminal palette, and I'm just going to blend that into the lid shade, because once you do all that adding of those shimmer shades, it can take away some of the dark shade in the outer V and the crease, and I want to make sure I have that because that's going to add definition to this eye look. And now I'm going back in with that original light shade from the Subliminal palette, and I'm just touching that up because I don't like it to be too bare there. And I'm blending out the edges of those shadows so we don't have any harsh lines. And now I'm just wiping up the fallout. There wasn't too much, but there was a little bit because I was using those metallic shades dry. Now I'm taking the LA Girl Glide Gel Liner in the shade Royal Blue, and I'm going to put that in a waterline. You're not going to see this on camera, but I also decided to extend it onto the lower lash line to serve as a base for the eyeshadow that I'm going to place there. And I wanted to give a little pop of color and a little more interest to this neutral eye look, and this is a great way, if you're not so much into color, to ease your way perhaps into wearing more color on the eye. And now I'm going back into Decadence, and I'm taking Underworld, and this shade I did wet, and I'm placing that right on top of that blue gel liner that I just put down. That liner kind of served as a base for this shade, and it's just bringing a little pop of surprise, unexpected color into this neutral eye look. And I think it was a nice little addition, and it allowed me to show you another shade from the palette. And now I'm just going back in with Enigma on a Makeup Geek pencil brush and putting it in the inner corner. This is the completed look. I used the Kiss Faux Mink lashes in the style Little Black Dress. I want to thank you for joining me today. I hope to see you again next week. Until then, bye-bye.